Destination Banter, Tony Smith. Riser,
and welcome back to the studio. I'm joined in the studio today with a very special guest of a good friend of mine, and he's one of my London brothers. We've got TC is in the studio, our head honcho. He's in the studio here today.
From South East London, you have to say from South East London.
From South East London.
Tell the whole lot of down.
But apart from that, it's getting warm in here, isn't it?
It is getting a bit hot in here. You should take your hat off.
You know what's coming, friends. You know what's coming. There it goes. There it goes. Look at it.
And I might even take mine off.
You might even take his off.
You never know. You never know.
Well, I'm taking the glasses off.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. I'll take the glasses off so you can see how good looking I am. There you go.
So, friends, last Banter show for a while, and have to do my shout outs. Philip J. Howard and his beautiful lady Anna. We've got Joseph V. Sultana out of Reaper's Shadow, the big film that's coming your way. Middleman, the film. We've got John Chalice being Boise.
Oh!
John Chalice, I'm going to be in set with you. We've got Cheryl Ferguson, Heather out of EastEnders. Big shout out to you too, because we're coming your way. Matthew T. Metzler, Breaking Bad actor in America. We've got Peltzman the rapper in London.
Wow.
Peltzman, Razor. Ollie Brecht in Germany. Good man, Ollie. Andrew Bowen's Just Soul singer in London as well. Jordan Morris, Razor Jordan. Hope you're doing well. You're out in LA. Elise Quevedo. Chiro Orsini from Pizza Pomodoro in Knightsbridge.
Oh, right.
Razor Chiro. Hollywood Casting, yes, I'll be coming your way too. Tom Begley, speaking to you soon. Gino Lynch and his sisters. Irish Showreels. Rob Marshall from No Stairway Media in London. That's all the shout-outs for today.
No, and the TFC Massive from South East London, of course.
On the TFC Massive from South East London.
Yes, there you go.
I'll be coming your way too.
Yes.
The Banter's going to be coming to London.
Of course.
You know. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine, and it's great to be here in Newry, in your hometown.
My old mate.
You know it is.
My good old mate, that's one of my London brothers, and he's in the studio with me. Thanks for coming in, brother.
No problem, no problem.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a long time, but we've been good friends, so I've been promising to come over for a time, and here I am, boss.
And here he is, live in the studio.
I'm here for you.
He's live in the studio.
For you.
Right, Trevor, give us a wee bit about your background.
Come on, you want to know. You know, but everybody else needs to know. Basically, we started music in about the 70s with my old man's band. We did sort of like reggae music and
what
stuff.
was your old man's band called?
Do you know what? It was so long ago, I can't even really sort of remember the name of it. It was
probably
like some funny
names,
sort of African name. We did a lot sort of like house parties and that type of thing. They used to call them blues and stuff, you know?
Oh, like that,
so we did that type of thing. And I used to play bongos and stuff. I was about 9 years old and played bongos, and we made a few records, and I remember going out with my dad in his van trying to sell the records to record shops and stuff, and not having enough money to get back home, do you know what I mean? Because we run out of petrol and stuff like that. So that was my sort of like beginning in music, and then after that I became sort of a jazz musician. I started off playing reggae guitar, and then I sort of started playing jazz and soul and funk, and that went on to producing and engineering and record labels and promotions, and here we are at 2014, and I'm still in the music, and I still love it, as you know, and
it's
everybody
your
else
life,
knows.
Brother. It's your life.
Yes, it is.
It's
many
your
record labels and many studios and stuff, many live performances and that type of thing. So I'm still going. I'm still going. I am and I'm still going.
Yeah. Well, it's coming up to your 40th birthday. That's 20 quid.
No,
that's 20 quid.
Not,
yeah.
No, yeah.
Now, I was in your studio in London back in the day.
Yeah.
And highly impressed.
Yes.
I'm highly impressed, I have to say. This man has got the proper studio facilities, proper recording, everything. And
we had quite a few people come through that studio. We had Wiley come through there, Dizzy Rascal, Daniel Benningfield, I think some other sort of slightly less named people like Jameson and a few other people I can't remember came through there. But that was basically sort of a garage studio.
Yeah.
It was the very beginning of the sort of change from house music to garage music. It was the sort of early 90s, and it started off with Sunday Service, basically a small club in North London, which was kind of like sort of house with a little bit more of an edge. Right. And then it turned into garage music. And then I opened up a studio, because I'd had many studios prior to that. And this was the real big change for me, because that's when I started doing the record labels, and then I started doing the promotions and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was a big change from what I was doing prior to that, because prior to that I was doing really sort of live music, jazz and soul and a little bit of funk, but that had all sort of slightly died, so I needed a new outlet. And because I'd been doing engineering and producing anyway, I knew that my real love was songs. That's basically what I loved. I loved songs. I loved the instrumentals, and I loved the musicianship, but what I really wanted was songs. And then when the garage came along, I found this music which I could sort of really settle into. and write good songs and still be a musician and an engineer and a producer, etc. And then sort of go over to the administration side, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, but the problem with that is it took me away from the music. And as you know, I love the music. So this year, 2014, I've been doing mainly live music, which has been sort of a lot of reggae music, old school reggae music, old school funk. And remember the other day he was laughing at me, and I told you I was doing a bit of disco. House disco. It's called disco.
I told all the viewers, I said, I'm after getting a revelation. Disco music's coming back in. I was talking to my buddy in London, and there he is. There's the man I was talking to, and he said it. Disco music's on the way back.
It's always been back, right? But the thing is, this is kind of like sort of housey disco. It's not Donna Summer stuff. It's not all that pretty stuff. It's kind of a little bit more of a housey underground edge, rather than the old pretty melodies and stuff and the beautiful vocals from the Donna Summer and that era. It's not really like that. That's not coming back, as far as I know. As far as I know, but you know, I don't know everything, but there you go.
You know, I'll be getting the secrets off him later on this evening.
Yes.
We're hooking up tonight.
We're hooking up and having a big drink for our friend's
50th birthday.
Well, he's 50 and a half now, but don't tell anyone.
No.
Don't tell anyone.
No, well, nobody will know anyway.
Nobody, no.
For 50 quid each, he's 40. It's up to him now.
Yes, he can decide whatever he wants, but we actually met at his 40th. That's where we had to fight.
That's where we had to fight.
That's where we had to fight.
The very first night me and this man met, we had a fight later on that night. We got into fisties. The second time, we didn't have a fight.
No, we have to tell them where the first fight was.
Well, we tell them.
Well, yes, no, but we should keep it a bit discreet. It was a very successful, should I say?
Extremely
successful Irish rock band.
Extremely successful.
It was in his
penthouse suite.
Penthouse suite. It wasn't over who was going to play the piano, that wasn't it. It was, we just had, I think we made a bit too much to drink.
I think it was just a bit too much.
That's right, we had a little bit too much to drink, and you wanted to check out your grappling, and I wanted to check out my wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
It got pear-shaped after that.
Yes.
But it was good, I enjoyed it.
It was good, and if it wasn't for your sister
I enjoyed it. We got into it, didn't we?
Yeah,
we got into it, brother.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for your sister coming along, oh, God knows what would happen.
It would have went on for
the
2 or 3 days.
Did I say the Clarence Hotel?
No.
Yes.
It would have went on for 2 or 3 days.
Dublin would have been a different place altogether.
And we would have looked different, I'm
we
sure.
would have probably looked different. Actually, it would have looked better than we do now, probably.
But I tell you what, it gave the two of us a bit of mutual respect.
Oh, there you go, man. There you go. It did indeed.
So, well, we've decided no more horseplay or fighting.
I have to say this. I have to say this about you, because at that time I had no inkling whatsoever that you was going to go into sort of the media side of things. Because prior to that, you were working. Where were you working? You were working on the roads, weren't you? What were you doing?
Working for the leading water company here.
The leading water company.
Yeah.
Now, so when you turned around and said to me you were doing acting, and you know you were thinking of doing, I just thought this is the most amazing thing, because
I knew what I wanted to do. It was just,
if you want to do it, it's like, you know, I did the same thing. I worked for a very big telecommunications company in England. Did that for years, realised that it really wasn't what I wanted to do. And in life, you really only get one chance. And I turned around about 23 years old, and I thought to myself, you know what, I've been playing music for a long time, and music is my real love. And if I don't do it now, in years to come, I'll regret it. But it's one of those things, it's the best decision that I ever made to do music. And you doing the same thing, I know it's difficult, especially you've got children and a family and stuff. When I did, I was quite young and independent, so I didn't have those worries. But for you to do it at your age is totally admirable, because, you know, you have friends and family, and they probably will turn around and go, oh, what are you doing? But if it's something that you love and something that you want to do, I mean, look at this. This is amazing to be able to do something like this. And you've shown me your acting stuff, you know. Yeah. Colin Farrell better move over soon.
Colin who?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, brother, exactly. That's the way we roll up here.
That's where you're going, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But don't forget, you ain't put me in none of your films yet, which I'm a bit disappointed about. Yeah, I'm saying I did say because,
well,
you know...
listen, I'm coming over to your part of the world.
Look at this, I've got the hairstyle already.
Look at that.
I've got the hairstyle already.
Get that head over here beside this
head.
Look at
that.
Do you remember the first time I met you? We were sitting down with our in our finery.
Our DJs.
In our finery.
Our DJs, yeah.
And some lady come over and goes, "Oh my God, what's going on here?"
Yes.
And started taking photographs. She said, "Is this a new TV show?"
I thought she thought we were bouncers. That's what it was.
And she thought it was a new TV show.
Yes.
Do you
But
remember that one?
we don't like bouncers, do we?
No,
No, we don't like bouncers.
There's one.
There's one little incident.
One in particular.
One in particular, which
South Afrikaner.
Yes, but which we will not go into
No,
because
we'll not go into it because it'll upset a few people. It'll upset him.
It'll just upset us because everybody seems to take the mickey out of us.
Yeah.
When we weren't the stool pigeons in this.
Oh,
we
no.
were not. We were the good guys.
I mean, it must have
But
been
put it
the two shaved heads.
It
He
must
didn't
be.
like
It
the
must
look of his
be. It
Trevor.
must be.
End of story.
And the fact is that we can laugh over it. That doesn't mean that nobody else can take the mickey out of us now.
Nobody can take that. Nobody
because
can do
we've
that.
told you we were there and we were embarrassed.
Right.
But we survived.
We survived it.
Yes.
We always survive our
That's
London
the song.
experiences.
That's the song. I will survive. There you go.
This goes back.
This
This goes back.
This goes back.
Right, we're coming back. Right, we're going now. These are Trevor's notes, okay? Trevor, I like that. The man done his own notes for the Banter show. How good is that?
There you go.
So, the Old Man Band.
That was my old man, you know, which I couldn't remember the name of the band and stuff. But I only played percussion and stuff. But it gave me a desire to want to play, perform.
Yeah.
And the really sad thing is that I just like performing, and I don't realise that I'm doing it. Because even if I go somewhere and there's a crowd of people, I'm performing and I actually don't realise I'm performing. I was out last night at your sister's shindig. And someone came up to me and said, "You really love dancing?" And I said, "I don't actually realise that I'm dancing because it's just music." And when Bob Marley says, "When's the music?"
There's one good
you
thing
feel
about
okay. You just start moving.
There's one good thing about music when it hits you.
You feel okay.
You feel no pain.
Oh well,
You
I feel
feel no
okay.
pain.
You feel no pain, but you just start moving.
It's the only
don't
thing
you?
to hit you that you don't feel pain.
And she said to me, "You love dancing," and I went, "I don't actually realise that I'm dancing, but if the music is good, you start nodding your head.
You can move in anything.
And you start moving. And then
Over
your feet,
in Ireland, that's what they do over
and your
here.
feet start tapping,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily dancing, but then the body starts getting into it, and you might get into it.
The timing and the rhythm.
And the rhythm comes, and then blah, and like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and then you can't do
yeah.
any more than that. So to me, it's like I like performing.
Yeah.
I also like standing on the tee box, gonna hit a drive right in the middle, and 35 people watching me. If no one's watching me, it goes off into the bushes. But that's another love. You know my love of golf. But anyway,
that's the competitive streak in your Trevor. That's what that is.
It's just a competitive streak. But then life is.
Furthermore, hold on now. Big Greg, the Irish golfer. Now you've asked me to get Jamaican dudes over for a game of golf up in Roganstown. So you get on to me. Here's one of the main men here. I've asked you about
I played yesterday in Kilkeen.
Kilkeel.
With your brother.
Ronnie, yeah.
I played with your brother yesterday. Fine golfer.
Razor Ronnie.
Yeah, fine golfer. Shame there was a few bandits there, though. You know, cause
Was there a few bandits out
a few
in the
bandits.
course,
yeah, you know, a couple of these people that said they could shoot 24, but really they're that single handicaps. You know,
shooting out of this then, wasn't it?
Yeah, but. That's another story for another day.
Yeah, that's you know what I mean. No, I went out golfing with Ronnie years and years ago, and he'll definitely back me up on this. He had me standing this way, what he thought was right, you know, now here like this here, and I drove it. Of course, that didn't work, and then I lost the temper, and I put it out. And get out of the road, and whack, you know, and I sent it right over the edge of the mountain.
You sound like you play golf the same way as I do. Yes, because when I get mad...
Let's have a game of golf.
Let's have a game of golf. It's a little bit like this. Someone said to me yesterday, Trev, you're not Tiger Woods. Why are you trying those shots when you shouldn't even be trying them? It's like, well... I know I'm not Tiger Woods, but at least I can try. Hey, I mean, there's no harm in trying. And I did lose the ball.
Did you?
I did lose the ball. He said, Trev, you shouldn't do that. And I lost the ball, and I looked at him and went, oh, well, there you go.
Tell you what.
There you go.
We're going to have a game of golf then.
We will. We'll have a game of golf.
I haven't played golf.
But we have to have a jam first, you know, because remember that nice bass guitar I sent you over in the box?
You did indeed.
And this man has lots of musical instruments in his garage. Have you still got the garage?
I still have the garage, yeah.
And he has lots of musical instruments, and I sent him...
His first bass guitar.
My very first bass guitar.
A Columbus.
It's a Columbus bass guitar. How old is that? And it's that far, the bridge is that high, isn't it?
The bridge.
You can barely play it.
Yeah,
but it's good for reggae music.
It's more for topping with the thumb, isn't it?
Yeah. It'd be painful with the thumb though after a while. You know,
I think you need to punch it.
After a while, you just do that with reggae music. It's really easy.
Take a drumstick
and
or
I
something.
send you that over in an old
In a golf box.
In an old golf box. Yes.
In a golf
You must have been
set box.
shocked when that arrived.
I thought I was listening as this thing ticking. What the hell's who sent me this? And I have to say, it's still in my garage. I cleaned it up there one weekend. I come down and looked and I thought, you know something, I'm going to clean that baby.
Up, yeah,
and I did, and I cleaned every bit
and
of
took
it.
all the hairs out of it.
Yeah.
When I used to have hair.
And I plugged it in. And nothing happened. Nothing happened.
You're joking?
So, do you know what I done? I got a cotton bud with methylated spirits in the jack port. Plugged it in again, and boom.
It was
and
off.
I give it a bum, 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 bum.
Yes.
So your guitar's still
It's
bopping,
still
brother.
working.
It's
See, and we still got to have
bopping.
a jam.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure these people don't know that you have a house full of musical instruments.
No,
They
that's
don't know
all
that.
quiet. No, it's all quiet.
This man has musical
know it now.
instruments.
They
He
know
has
it now.
instruments.
Yeah.
He's a talented man. He just won't admit it.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a jam.
No.
We must have a jam one day.
And we should have had a jam in your studio, funny enough.
We should have. We
You know.
should have.
But you're going to set up a new studio, I believe.
Right, yes. A mate of mine is just doing some studios. He's doing 13 studios.
What?
Yes. But see, the thing about studios is when I had to give up my studio because the site had been sold to some developers who have beautiful properties on there now.
Was that Greenwich High Road?
Greenwich High Road, it was in Greenwich High Road. If you go down
There you
there, them
go.
luxury flats down there, I don't know how much they're
That's
worth.
where your studio
But
used to
that's
be.
where my studio used to be, in the old fire station. The old fire
The
station.
old fire station.
And so we sort of split that thing up, and then I didn't really do any studios for a few years. And then recently, people have started to get back into studios. And a friend of mine is opening 13 studios. Rehearsal studios and recording shows, very small, some really small cubicles and stuff. But he's filled them up already. So these
all the
studios,
places are filled up already.
they're all filled up, and all the studios are working, and you can just walk through and you hear an amazing array of music.
Yeah.
Drum and bass, a bit of house, a bit of garage, a bit of classical music. You hear all kinds of music, and it's a real sort of musicians sort of area now.
Yeah.
In Deptford, South East London.
In Deptford, yeah.
Yeah, it's just round the corner from Greenwich,
round
where we
the
were.
yeah, of course.
Absolutely fantastic. So that's really important, and that's what I'm starting to get. I'm starting to sort of get back into studio work as well now, because I haven't done it for maybe 4 or 5 years. But like I said, it's the live stuff which I'm really getting into.
The studio is your comfort zone.
It was my comfort zone. Studios have always been my comfort zone.
Yeah.
They've always been the place where I've been able to shut the door, get away with my worries, turn on the music,
And
and
concentrate.
get
And then
enveloped
you
by the music.
concentrate. And I've seen you tweaking.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen this man work in the studio.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Well, I was originally an engineer, basically.
you were, yeah.
I was an engineer, then I became engineer, producer, and stuff.
Can you tell me
but
about...
I've basically done everything. I've done. I don't know. I used to have a publishing company as well. I've basically done most things. Most things I've done.
Can you tell me about Bob Marley Studios in Jamaica?
Wow, I was really young. 1983.
1983.
Tough Gone.
But you were there, brother.
I was
You were there, yeah.
I don't know how I was there.
Yeah.
I was staying with my cousin and stuff, and I just went for a walk one day, and I was walking down this road, and it said Tough Gone Studios, and I thought, hold up a second. I know Tough Gone Studios, because being a reggae man from, you know where all the best reggae music comes out. And you get them little 7-inch labels, and you think, where did that music come made? Tough Gone Studios. I remember walking down there and thinking, my God, this just looks open, and just walked in there. And I just walked in there, and people were just looking at me because they could see straight away that I was not Jamaican. And I thought, how can you tell? And they could just tell. And I just stood there.
You were a different colour then.
I was a light shade of Jamaican.
You were a lighter
and I was
shade.
just standing there listening to the music, and it was amazing. And my cousin was sending out patrols all over Kingston to find me because they couldn't find me.
You were on the missing list.
I was on a missing list, but I was happy.
But where was he? Bob Marley Studio.
Bob Marley
Studio.
Bob Marley Studios. But but that was.
I'll have to give you a big up for that one.
That was before I started getting into the jazz, and then I got into a lot of jazz and the Jazz Warriors and that type of stuff. So I was really into my sort of jazz and jazz funk era. I was telling someone last night, like people like Shack Attack. I don't know if you remember groups
I
like
remember Shack Attack, yeah.
Yeah, they used to do that kind of like piano-y jazz music
Yeah.
and stuff. And
That's when the synths were coming in,
The
weren't they?
synths coming in, yes. The
That's
synths.
right, they were just coming in.
Light of the World and Second Image and all those bands.
Yeah.
They're still out now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all started retouring and stuff now. And,
That's all coming,
I went to see them a couple of years ago in Hammersmith Odeon.
No
And all
way.
the reggae music, all the old school reggae music is coming back. All the lovers rock stuff that I used to listen to in the 70s, that's all coming back. So this is why I'm back in the studio now, 2014, doing sort of up-to-date sort of reggae music, sort of
Yeah.
old school, new school reggae music, and a bit of the old funk and stuff, a bit of the old James Brown stuff, but kind of like brand new and stuff. So
Yeah, but we like
we're
the
doing
funky stuff too,
We
don't
love the
we?
funky stuff. We're doing
You
a
know?
lot. I'm doing a lot of live stuff with people that just. A friend of mine phoned me up a couple of weeks ago and he said, I just got my bass out. He said, I just cleaned it up and I've got it out and I want to start playing again. And I said, well, come round. I put some tracks down and he played some bass and I thought, you know what? Let's get a little band together. Let's get some girls together and we can get a little something here going, you know. But
Keep me posted,
oh,
brother.
yeah,
Keep me
definitely,
posted.
definitely. Yeah.
Now I've got a surprise for you, brother.
You got a surprise
I've
for
got
me.
a surprise. I've got two young local fellas in here. We've got Caelan Daly and we've got his mate Paul.
And they've got
the
guitars.
two boys are going to two Martin guitars. Martin
guitars?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
So
That's a small one.
the boys are, this is a surprise, a local surprise, a Newry surprise for my main man from London, South East London, TFC. Here he is.
Flying away like Noah's dove, I'd fly the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. The woman I love was long and soft, moved her body like a cannonball. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Bloody river, it's a muddying wild. Can't give a bloody for my unborn child. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Saw a bird flying high above, crossed that river into the one I love. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well.
Razor, lad.
Whoa!
Razor. Razor, friends, Razor. So what about that, Trevor? That was a nice tune the
That was
boys played.
fantastic. That was really, really great.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
brilliant.
There's a lot of talent around these
There's
parts.
absolute talent. You have to tell us, you know, what your aspirations are musically. Come on, tell us quickly. You've got 4 seconds.
Well,
your time's run out.
Time's run out, yeah.
There you go. No, you were telling us in the break. Go on. You were telling us in the break. Go on, quickly.
Can I I want to talk about studio now. I've been telling local bands around here how studios work in London, right? And some of the youngsters like these lads have gone, you know, when you tell them, now,
I've done whole
we've been
studio
there,
route.
right?
I've done
Now,
studio route. Yeah.
The minute you walk through that door, the minute you put foot in that studio, you're on time, that's it.
Well, when you're running a studio, like I was running a studio and running a record label and everything else, it's very different from me. The second someone walks through the door, I know how much money I'm going to charge them, how much money I'm going to make out of the music that I'm going to produce for them. But as an engineer, and it's a very different life. You basically have to work for the clients and stuff, and it's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I did it for a little while, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I'd rather do my own music and stuff than rather doing other people's stuff. So from that perspective, it's
But time is money. The minute you come through that door.
yeah, but music's not about money. I mean, you shouldn't really worry about the money aspect of it. I think what you have to do as youngsters, you have to really learn your craft, get your songs going, and get out there on the internet and get out there in the world and let people see what you want to do. And like you said earlier, you want to go to
Queen's to do Sonic Arts.
Sonic Arts. Do as much as you can musically. I mean, I've done everything, bands and...
Sonic Arts. Now there's a name, Trevor. Sonic Arts.
Well, you got to have a good name.
The art of Sonic.
You get, you know,
Wow.
it's like Guitar Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
Musical intelligence. You've got to have these really big names. And at the end of the day, really, it's just music.
Yeah,
At the really, it's just chords.
TC's Music House.
It's just 12 notes and chords, and if you can make a good selection of those and people like what you do, then go for it. And this is what music is about, boys. I know you're only young. You're gonna work hard, and some people are not gonna like it, and you probably get knockbacks all the time. But guess what? I got hundreds of knockbacks, and everybody I know who's a success has had hundreds of knockbacks.
Do you have to keep battering on?
You just have to
can't
keep going.
Stop. You,
You
have to keep going.
I've got friends that are athletes and all kinds of things, and they get knocked back all the time. And you just keep going because in the end, it's worth it.
But music's changed lately, Trevor. There's a lot of acoustic music coming out. Have you noticed that?
Well, this is what happened. This is what I've been saying this year, especially 2014. I've been doing a lot of live jazz funk, a lot of disco.
Disco.
We won't go into the disco stuff. But reggae music.
We're a big trend.
Yeah. But I've been doing a lot of reggae music because people want to listen to live music again.
Yeah.
They're fed up with listening to, you know, sort of like tracks fused together, records fused together and mixed and stuff. And that gets a bit boring after a while. So people want to listen to live music, and live music has always been there, but now it just seems to be more prominent. And that's why I'm back in the studio.
You know that the big nightclubs in London, right?
We've done lots of. Yeah.
There's a lot of mixed music on there.
Yeah.
And after a while, it gets not only boring, it gets bloody annoying after a while.
Yeah,
you know, it does get a bit.
Yeah,
you know, because I'm used to live music.
Yes.
And you know, I've been in studios.
Yeah.
You lived in studios.
Yeah,
I lived in the studio.
I lived in the studios and clubs. I mean, I was there when house first broke in the mid to late 80s. I was in a club, and I remember one day going there every week, listening to the music, which was lovely, and then all of a sudden the boys started playing Fall to the Floor stuff. And I just couldn't understand what was going on, and nobody in the club could understand. But he did it the next week and the week after and the week after, and then that's when house music began.
That's when it began,
And I think that's the thing with music. I've always been one of those people that have always tried to sort out. That's why I did garage music. I always tried to sort out new music and different music, and that's the beauty of being a musician. That you can encounter so much different music, and it can really add to your musical knowledge. And I think that's what people have to do nowadays. You can't be stuck in just listening to jazz or listening to R&B or listening to hip-hop stuff. You have to go out there and find these other underground musics that sometimes give you so much knowledge and help you as a musician. And at the end of the day, I'm not only just a musician, I'm not just a musician, but I'm a music lover as well. So I want to go out there and listen to lots of different music, and you boys play very well and stuff. So so you know, get out there and do your stuff.
And they have good equipment. 2 little Martin guitars, they're fantastic.
And you know, do your writing and you know, whatever you do.
He is a writer. You've wrote a lot of songs, haven't you?
Fuck.
Don't swear.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
Razor, it's the last Banter show, friends. Anything goes.
I'm not too sure.
You've written a lot.
There's a lot of unfinished songs, about 60 altogether, but most
Tell
of
me
them
about half songs.
half
Really?
songs are like
Half
the
songs.
Well,
worst.
for instance, I had a guy in here yesterday,
Wow.
right? Razor Marty McGuigan. He was great crack, wasn't he, lads? And the last time he was in here was April. From April till yesterday, that guy's wrote 33 songs. He's wrote 33 songs from April.
Yes, you have
and
to.
played them
I mean,
on the
last year I recorded 25 songs.
You recorded last year, yeah.
For different people I recorded, but basically they're all cover versions.
Yeah.
They're absolute cover versions. A couple of reggae Bob Marley things and a few house things, but 25 different. A lot of soul stuff.
Yeah,
love going back to the old soul stuff
love it.
and some of the new stuff, this Sam Smith stuff and the and some
good.
Johnny Legend and Johnny Newman. It's just loads of cover versions and
Yeah.
stuff. And when you're into music, it's really amazing that you can just do stuff really quick. Because you enjoy it. And if you enjoy something and you love it, you can just keep on doing it. You can
that's
just
not a job then.
yeah,
that's not a job.
It's a hobby, and that's what these boys have to look at it. And
Yeah.
that's how I look at music. I've always looked at it as something which I really enjoy doing. It's like you said, when you worked and I worked,
Yeah.
we're in jobs which we never really liked, but we had this hobby which we were passionate about.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say to people, if you find a hobby that you're passionate about, make it your life's work.
That's it. And enjoy it.
And then money doesn't matter because you're doing what you like and you're doing what you enjoy. And if you get money at the end of it, I mean, there's lots of musicians and sports people and actors and blah blah blah. Just do it for the love, and it's nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
And I'm always annoyed when people say, "Oh, I want to do music because I want to make some money," because there's most people in music don't make any money.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money, and the money doesn't interest us.
It's the love.
It's about the love of the
It's
music.
the love of the music,
the
and
love
that's
of
what
music.
keeps it all going, isn't it?
It's like art and everything.
And do you know
else.
who I had in the studio? The legendary studio engineer, producer, legendary.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you
What, Clear Mountain? No?
I'll tell you how legendary this man is.
Who?
Do you ever hear of Tubular Bells?
Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells, of course I did.
Yeah. Well, Mike Oldfield's mate, Tom Newman, Razor Tom Newman. Tom was in the studio. Great man.
Wow.
Fantastic man. And I hope they get talking to you soon, Tom. He's a gentleman.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know Tom and all, don't you?
Yeah.
So he's living locally. Come over
Right.
here. He's living locally. He's got Narrowwater Studios up here, and
All right.
a real good setup. They built the studio inside a castle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all
But
soundproof.
wasn't Tubular Bells recording on a boat? Wasn't it recording on
the
a
boat? They had the boat over here at one time.
They had the same boat over here.
Actually, I think it was the same boat.
Because I think Virgin had a boat, didn't they, where they recorded Tubular Bells on? I'm
That's
not quite
right.
sure.
Tom Newman.
Oh right, that's amazing.
Tom's over in Rio at the minute, and he's a good man. Well, Tom, will not say too much about you. You're just a legend, brother. You're a legend.
There
We
you
love
go.
you.
He founded Virgin Records with Richard as well.
With Richard. Him and Richard Branson are mates.
Oh, so they founded it together.
They
See,
founded
the
it,
story I always heard was just Mr. Branson on his own.
No,
but
him and
hey,
Tom,
who knows?
you know.
Who knows?
But there you go.
That's amazing.
And that wasn't too long ago. That's only a couple of
And
months
Tubular
ago.
Bells sold millions.
Still selling.
And still selling. And they did two. They did
And
Tubular
now
Bells too, didn't they?
Tom done a project, the Children of Ireland singing Tubular Bells.
Really?
And now it's out. And now he's going to Scotland to do it.
Wow.
And now he's going to Wales to do it.
Wow.
So this is taken off.
I think the great thing about that was it wasn't, when it came out, it wasn't the type of thing that, it wasn't mainstream.
No,
it wasn't
completely.
popular. It was completely against the grain of what everybody's doing.
It was a
and I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing with music. You have to sometimes take risks. I mean, drum and bass would have never have come out if someone didn't sit there with an Akai sampler and go, "Let me speed up this drum loop."
Yeah.
Let me speed up this, and that created a whole music genre. And music does that. Someone comes out with a skank guitar, which helps, you know, you can play a bit of reggae for me, play a bit of skank reggae music. Come and play some skank reggae guitar. Chink, chink, chink. You don't have to tune up. Chink, chink.
Right, you got it.
Chink, chink, chink. See, that skank thing came about. No, you have to sing it, bro. Hey, that's old school reggae music. That's proper old.
That's really old.
That's like
That's your era, brother. That's your
that's like
era.
parents' era. That's like ska. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing. Someone come along with that line, and then reggae music is built off of that, of the foundations of that.
Yeah.
And lots of music have that really unusual beginning where, you know, Fuzzbox came in, and then it just sort of changed the music because it gives it a different edge.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of music.
Because when we were
And
out
that's
of the
the music,
town...
music can change, and technology has helped music to move along, especially with the advent of drum machines and synthesizers in the 80s and stuff like that.
But even the drum and bass era in London, I mean, once it started, the drum and
Oh
bass,
yeah, it took
was
off
everywhere,
yeah.
wasn't it?
It took off, yeah, it took off, and the problem with new music is they burn themselves out very quickly because
Yeah.
what happens is, you'll say, for instance, like when I was in the garage scene, it started off as a sort of a house thing, and then it sort of had reggae influences, then had jazz influences, and it then had Latin influences, and it goes through these influences very quickly,
Yeah.
because it's quite quick music to produce.
Yeah.
So within maybe 4 or 5 years, the taste and the feel of the music changes, and then instead of it being 4/4 based garage music, it's now 2-step. And then that changes, and then it changes to grime, and the music can burn itself out.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know, punk music and all those other musics that come along, some of them only have a short period of time, and they burn themselves out.
Just burn themselves
and
out,
this,
yeah.
And this is what I like to do. I like to get in right at the very beginning of music and see it evolve. And sometimes it evolves too fast for me even. I mean, when I first started listening to garage music, people come up to me in my studio and go, "What's garage music?" And I'd go, I know something you don't know.
Yeah.
And then I'd introduce these people to it, and then they'd start doing the music, but then they'd put their own influences on it.
Yeah, of course,
And then you had real musicians starting to do it. So the music, instead of becoming sample-based, it became now song-based. And then from then it kind of explodes, and it has a life of its own, and it eventually just burns itself out.
Yeah.
I think what happens with music, it becomes commercialized.
Yeah.
And once you start seeing it in an advert on the television,
Yeah.
once that advert has the drum and bass on it, or it has a bit of garage on it, you know that music is on its way out, because it's now
going.
mainstream.
That's going, yeah.
It's the
But then
mainstream.
you get bands like Metallica, you know, and everybody thinks Metallica real heavy rock and all. Yeah, but if you check out some of their albums, they went astray here, they went astray
Yeah,
there. They got a whole, I think, was it the London Philharmonic Orchestra? They were
Right,
playing.
did they?
And then they done Whiskey in the Jar, a Thin Lizzy
Wow.
song. And they started going all these different ways.
Yeah.
And all the hardcore rock fans that were, you know, they're big supporters,
Yeah.
when they started going diverting here and there, they all, that's a load of crap.
Well, it depends
you know?
how open-minded your audience
You have to
is.
be open-minded.
Yeah, sometimes your audience are open-minded and they can move with what you know, like the Beatles going off and doing all this weird kind of like Indian type of music stuff.
Yeah.
Some people will follow it and some people go, no, that's not what I want to listen to, and that's
Yeah.
okay. But sometimes you pick up a bigger audience doing something else.
Yeah.
And generally you can't get away from what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have this core of what music is inside of us.
Indeed, yes.
We can move
divert,
around,
yeah.
but generally you come back to home.
Even Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix.
Hendrix, yeah.
I mean, he done his country bit.
Yeah, he did
done
his
his
country.
jazz bit.
Yep. Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and people only think
Of the heavy rock.
of the heavy rock.
You know, all along the Watchtower,
The
all that
man
type
was
of stuff.
he was multi-talented.
Yeah, well, he played with James Brown.
Exactly.
James Brown stuff.
Another madman too. Brilliant boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
A really,
But
really
but
good
see,
one.
James was cool because James only just stayed right down the fuck line all the way.
Yeah.
Like, nowhere
Yeah.
else. Funk, a little bit of soul, but generally it's
And it
just
didn't need
funk.
modern. He didn't need lyrics. He could
did.
with a good foot. With a good foot. You know, simple as that. Bingo. It worked. And a legend. He turned into a legend. complete
Yes, he
legend.
did. Yes. God rest his soul. But then there's someone even popping off now.
Well, on that note, friends, it's coming up to the end of the Banter show.
And the boys are sitting there,
The
they
boys
want
are
to
gonna sit
play.
here.
They don't want to listen to two bald-headed geezers talk rubbish. do ya?
Speak for yourself on that one.
There you go.
Right, lads, I have to say thanks for coming in.
What's the name of the tune? What's the name of the tune?
Wait and see. That's an original bait.
What?
You have to wait- you have to wait and
You have
see.
to tell me.
No, that's what the thing.
Oh, you said,
Right.
well, this was a quick one, huh?
This is an original by Paul.
Right.
And so,
And I'm gonna give credit here. It was helped out by a girl called Leah Mooney.
Did she dump you?
And no,
I was
to
not a
his
love song.
girlfriend.
Oh, because the best songs are made when you get dumped.
Nah,
You get dumped, you get dumped, you
We're
go
on the
home.
Banter show, friends.
You get dumped, you go home and you write some really good songs.
and another mate of mine, Stephen Foster, helped out with a few.
Well, Stephen was in the Banter
Yeah.
show too, right? Good lad.
Back on with Brandy.
Brandy. I'm
So,
sorry I
yeah.
didn't get you in, guys, but you're later. We'll talk about all that.
So we're well cut for time, so we'll get through
Right,
this tune.
we're really
Go on
pushed.
then, off you go, boys.
Sit and reminisce with me. It didn't happen, but that's okay. We'll make believe. Sometimes life doesn't work out how it seems, but it's alright, 'cause I've got you and you've got me. So sit down by the fire while she sings. Let it burn out all the cold, these winter dreams. Come down with me and we'll talk about history, and we'll try to make some sense of you and me. I took you home to my parents' house. You stuck through the front door quiet as a mouse. What were we thinking? It was only 'cause we were drinking some cheap wine. So sit down by the fire while she sings. Let it burn out all the cold of these winter dreams. Come down with me and we'll talk about history, and we'll try to make some sense of you and me. Take things slowly, one step at a time. It will take things slowly, one step at a time. It will take things slowly, one step at a time.
Razor!
Excellent.
Razor, lads, Razor. Oh,
Lovely.
that's a nice way to finish the Banter show. That's a lovely way, lads.
Great.
Paul, thanks for coming in.
All right.
Gentleman, Keelan. As always, brother, as always.
Respect, man.
Nice to meet you.
Respect,
Nice to meet
respect.
And brother,
Blood, respect.
big, you know it, brother.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to
Respect,
party
respect.
later on.
Yeah, we're gonna.
A few drinks and a few.
We're gonna get down, bro.
We're going to get down.
With
and
our
groove
bad
it.
selves.
So on that note, friends, I want to thank all my previous guests for coming into the studio. I really enjoyed the banter with every single one of you, and you never know, it could be coming on. The shades are on, it could be coming back, you know. So keep in touch with me on Twitter at capital T Tony capital R Razor, all one word, at Tony Razor. Get me on Twitter. I'm going off Facebook for a while because it's doing my head in. Apart from all that, Trevor, I think it's about time we were. Lads,
Yeah, we were gone.
You know
yeah. It's time we were out of here, bro.
Look, we're doing a razor before we go.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how to do a razor. Paul,
Yeah,
you too.
yeah, we'll do a razor.
Right, from me, Trevor, Paul, and Keelan, lads,
Razor!
We're out of here.
We're out of here.
We're a digital solution company with our headquarters in Ireland. We have, with colleagues in the United States, in Hungary and in India, developed what we believe to be the most cost-effective, the most simple to implement digital signage solution for every type of business that wants to increase sales and add to the quality of experience for their customer and their audience. Digital signage is just a fancy phrase for a method of displaying your product or services on devices and screens, televisions as well, engaging with your customer and helping your customer understand exactly what you do, what services you provide, and how your customer can access the same. And it all happens through the simplicity of this little box. If you're a retail business anywhere in the world, contact us and get a free digital signage trial. Now, to see how we power local internet television, please go to the aboutdestinationuri.com channel. And to review or join our business network, please go to the Local Business Network channel. Thank you.
Destination Banter.